The call came on a Tuesday morning while I was sitting in my office on the 14th floor of the Pentagon. My father's name appeared on the screen. I stared at it for a long moment. Then I answered. "Sarah," he said, his voice smaller than I had ever heard it. "I need your help. 10 years. Not one phone call to congratulate me. Not one visit. Not one acknowledgement of anything I had built. But now he needed help." I leaned back slowly in my chair and looked out over Washington, D.C. "Tell me what happened," I said calmly. And while he talked, I thought about the summer I turned 18. The summer everything changed. The summer my father looked me in the eyes and chose my brother instead. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I grew up in a small town in Kentucky with my father, my younger brother Kevin, and a mother who passed away before I turned 12. After Mom died, Dad poured everything into Kevin. Every birthday, every school play, every Saturday morning, I understood grief. I understood that Kevin was younger, more fragile, more visibly broken by loss. So I became quiet, capable, invisible by choice. By 16, I was maintaining a 4.0 GPA, working weekends at a local diner, and teaching myself financial literacy from library books because nobody else was going to. Dad noticed none of it. Kevin failed 2 grades and Dad hired a private tutor. Kevin wrecked the family car and Dad bought another one. Kevin dropped out of community college after 1 semester and Dad called it finding himself. Meanwhile, I had been accepted to the University of Virginia on partial academic scholarship. The remaining tuition gap was manageable, if my college fund was intact. I had watched Dad deposit into that account my entire childhood. Birthday money, tax returns, small contributions every few months. He had mentioned it at least a dozen times. "That money is for your future, Sarah." I believed him. The summer before my freshman year, I sat across from Dad at the kitchen table with my acceptance letter and tuition, breakdown in my hands. He didn't look at the papers. He looked at his coffee cup. "There's something I need to tell you," he said quietly. The account was gone. Every dollar. Kevin had gotten involved with a failed business venture 6 months earlier. Loans were called in. Dad had covered it quietly using the only savings he had access to, my college fund. I sat very still. "Kevin didn't mean for it to go this far," Dad said. I looked at my acceptance letter. Then I folded it carefully and placed it back in the envelope. "Okay," I said. "Just that. 1 word." Dad seemed surprised I didn't cry. Didn't argue, didn't demand answers. What he didn't understand was that I had learned something important very early in life. Tears don't rebuild what people destroy. Actions do. I enlisted in the United States Army the following Monday. The next 10 years were not gentle. Basic training, overseas deployments, advanced officer training, a master's degree completed between assignments, promotions that came because I outworked everyone around me without ever asking for recognition. I sent Dad a card every Christmas. He responded maybe half the time. Kevin called occasionally when he needed advice. Never when things were going well. Only when something was falling apart. I helped when I could. Not because they deserved it. Because I had decided the kind of person I wanted to be regardless of how they treated me. By 30, I was a commissioned officer handling logistics operations across 3 continents. By 32, I had been appointed to a senior advisory position that required Pentagon clearance. I had built everything myself. Quietly. Methodically. The same way. I did everything. Dad never asked what I did exactly. Kevin once described my job to a relative as something with the government. That was fine. I had stopped needing their understanding years ago. Back to that. Tuesday morning, Dad's voice on the phone was unrecognizable, shaking, exhausted. Kevin's latest business had collapsed entirely. Debt had accumulated for years. The house Dad owned, the same house I grew up in, had been used as collateral on a loan Kevin defaulted on. They were weeks away from losing it. I didn't know who else to call, Dad said. Silence. "Sarah, are you there?" "I'm here." "I know I don't have any right to ask." His voice cracked. "But you were always the strong one." I closed my eyes briefly. There it was. The same sentence in a different form. The one my family had been saying my entire life. "You're strong. You don't need us. You'll be fine." Translation: your feelings matter less. Your sacrifices cost nothing. Your strength means we never have to show up for you. I thought about the kitchen table, the folded acceptance letter, the 1 word I said instead of everything I felt. Then I thought about the woman I had become because of that moment. Not despite it. Because of it. "Dad," I said quietly, "I'm going to help you." He exhaled immediately, relieved. But not because Kevin deserves it. And not because you've earned it. Silence. Then why? He asked softly. I looked out over the city again. Monuments, institutions, buildings, full of people who kept things standing quietly, while the world moved around them, because Mom would have wanted the house to stay in the family. He didn't speak for a long moment. When he finally did, his voice was barely above a whisper. I'm sorry, Sarah, for all of it. I nodded even though he couldn't see me. I know, Dad. I ended the call. Then I sat quietly for a moment before opening my laptop and beginning the transfer. Some people spend their whole lives waiting for an apology before they'll act with grace. I had learned something different. Grace wasn't for them. It was for me.